This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. I'm joined by promoter Ben Shalom on another successful night here in Bournemouth. Ben, CBS, in what was a bit of a firefight up until that stoppage, comes through with the goods. What did you make of his stoppage victory there?
You know what? Hats off to my team, because they were telling me for weeks and weeks, and when we chose this opponent, we knew it was going to be an absolute war. We knew what he was going to come. And CBS only knows one way, and he does leave himself open. And we knew from the start it was going to be fireworks, and it was going to be a tough fight, and it could end in a knockout. And luckily, Chris was the one that got it in front of this. And what an atmosphere, what a night. I mean, very, very happy for Chris Billam-Smith. Xhoxhaj came and played his partner. He was up on the scorecards at the time and fought a great fight as well. And that was just an unbelievable fight.
Chris always entertains. He's always going to be a fan's favourite when he steps between the ropes. How important was it though that he did get that victory tonight, looking towards what is a massive 2023 for him?
Yeah, it was never a given tonight, and what he showed is that his power now carries through, and Achay's been working on that a lot, and that was one of the most brutal knockouts I've ever seen. It was incredible. Xhoxhaj, I'm thinking about him. I hope he's okay. He looked okay, he got up in the end. But what a way to close off a good show, a credible show, and an unbelievable year. And as you say, we've got big eyes on the summer next year at the stadium here. The fans are unbelievable here, incredible. I know I keep saying unbelievable, but it really is. It was tonight. The way that the fans get behind Chris Billam-Smith is special, and they really see him as one of their own. And you know, you couldn't get a ticket in Bournemouth for this tonight, and the way to close out a knockout just sets up the stadium perfectly.
That leads me on to 2023. 100% Ben, will we see CBS headline of a Bournemouth football ground, and will it be for a world title?
He will definitely be headlining at the Bournemouth ground. There are, and I mentioned Opataya there are a couple of monster fights that we can make there. I know we've talked about Richard Riakporhe in the past, and that's also an unbelievable fight, and probably a bigger fight for British boxing. But look, we'll sit down. The options are his. We've got a lot of options now, and the cruiserweight division has a lot of options. And all the world champions, whether it's Gulamarian, Opataya, Makabu, they want to fight in the UK because this is where it is.
You mentioned Richard Riakporhe. We can see him just on Sky punditry over there. When do you think we could see that rematch?
I think we will see it next year. I really do believe that. I think they're both getting to such a stage. They've had great development this year. Richard Riakporhe's got a big fight in January. It'll be announced on Monday, Tuesday, which is that's a serious fight. And then we'll look at it, because it's time. It's time to see who's the best in the cruiserweight division, both on the world level and the British level.
Ben, let's just work through the rest of the card. Azeez stopping Rocky Fielding tonight. Again, another punch-perfect display for a hit from him. What's the plan moving forward? What did you make of his performance tonight?
I thought it was really good. I thought it was really tidy work. I would hate to fight Azeez. I would hate to, and he's so hungry and he's so fit that, you know, when the rounds go on and on, it doesn't matter who he's fighting, he's going to get stronger and stronger. And yeah, it was a great performance. I thought Rocky Fielding showed more than maybe some people thought he would. I think it was a good fight, and yeah, it's another one. It's another step in the right direction for Azeez, and he moves on. And whether it's a European title next, I know he wants Lyndon Arthur desperately. But we'll see what happens next year. He's got a big year, and again, it's been a breakthrough year for Azeez, and he deserves it.
Ben, just sticking with it, Steve Robinson coming out with a stoppage victory against Nick Campbell tonight. He was the underdog, and he pulled it out of the bag.
I did say, I saw the bookies odds for Steve Robinson knockout, and I couldn't quite believe it. It was a fight that could have gone either way. I thought maybe it was stopped a little prematurely, but you know what? Very, very pleased. You know, people talk about levels in boxing, but boxing's about opportunity, and boxing's about stories and people making the best of themselves and having this second chance. And after he lost to Shane Gill, people were laughing at him. And look, he knows he's never going to be a world champion and this and that, but he gives it a go. He works hard. We promised him another opportunity. He had his cousin die on the week of the show with Shane Gill, and it was a horrible period for him. And yeah, I was, you know, with the first couple of rounds, it looked like it was Nick Campbell's, and Steve Robinson pulled it out of the bag, and yeah, very, very happy for him.
Ben, boxing's about stories. Jimmy First has written another chapter in his own. What did you make of his fight there with Corey Gibbs? And obviously Corey spitting out his gumshot 3 times during that battle.
It was a very weird fight, and I actually still think Corey Gibbs won the fight. I do think he won the rounds. However, what a story. I know Corey Gibbs' gum shield, it was like a replacement gum shield, and it was coming out at every opportunity. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. However, as I say, Jimmy first, what a story. The oldest unbeaten fighter in British boxing. And he got his chance, and Chris Aston was onto our team, who's been around, everyone knows Chris in boxing, and he said, come on, give Jimmy first his chance, and he got his chance tonight, and he took it. And again, another story in British boxing. It was a great night, and yes, Corey will come again, and yes, he'll have to learn from that. And the whole gum shield thing was very strange, but I do think he won most of the rounds anyway. However, happy for Jimmy first.
And final one on this card before I ask you about a few other quick topics. Caroline Dubois, she comes through again, she looks amazing, but she does need to step up now. It's one of the comments over social media. People are keen to see her go through the rankings now and start to push towards those titles.
Yeah, I mean, it was the thing is, if you run your business by social media, you won't get very far. I think a lot of people were calling Xhoxhaj a tune-up. I couldn't believe. Honestly, we were laughing in the office about that. I think she's in her first calendar. This is her first year being a pro. She's 20 years old, 21 years old. She's fought 5 times this year. She fought someone that had never been stopped tonight, who's similarly ranked to her. And we actually thought, you know what, this will be a test to see if her power does carry through. She is the future of women's boxing. She's the best fighter. She is the best female fighter coming through right now. I really believe that. She has the hunger as well, and she's going to carry through. And yeah, we'll see her step up next year, but we'll take it at her pace, and she's going to go right to the top. And she's going to spend a long time. She's 21. She's probably got another 10, 15 years in this sport. And I think she's going to become a multi-weight world champion. I think she'll take women's boxing to even greater heights than it already is.
Ben, earlier today we saw Savannah Marshall come out and say that she has activated her rematch clause with Claressa Shields. She said she wants it at St James's Park. Claressa since come out saying that it ain't happening, it's going to happen in America. Can you just give everybody a little breakdown as to the understanding behind that rematch clause and where things currently stand?
Look, I think we haven't actually thought about it, to be honest. I think Savannah should have 1 or 2 fights in between. However, there is a rematch clause, and we will do the rematch, and I think it's still the biggest fight in women's boxing. Savannah, for all the successes that she had, and for the fact that she broke records, and the fact that she sold out on O2 and has become one of the biggest stars in the sport, she was devastated. She felt like her performance wasn't right, and she felt like she could have done a lot of things different, and that's why she's so eager to take this rematch. Whatever people say about how amazing Claressa Shields is, and she is truly the greatest, Savannah Marshall believes that something can be done differently, and let's see what happens. We've not even talked about it yet properly with the teams, and I'm sure we'll see some news over the next few weeks.
When will you target it for?
Really, I have to speak to both teams. I think the St James's Park was always a dream for Savannah Marshall, but we'll see.
Away from that one, Taylor-Catterall 2. Everybody's waiting for an announcement, an update on it. He spoke to Josh earlier this week. His confidence is going to be coming soon. What can you update everybody on?
Yeah, I think we'll be announcing that in the next 7 days. Thank God. Thank God. Been waiting since last February for it, and yeah, I can't wait.
And that's what the hold-up on that's been?
Well, first of all, Josh couldn't box this calendar year, so it could have never been before February, and it won't be long after that. And yeah, it's just a massive fight, and it's one that Jack waited a long time for the first one. He's had to wait a long time for this, and fair play for Josh Taylor taking it, because it's going to be one of the biggest nights I really believe in British boxing history.
Obviously, Ben, we haven't had a chance to catch up this week. A couple of topics away from that again. Lawrence Okolie, now he's obviously come out that he seems to deem himself a free agent. Eddie Hearn Matchroom said that's not the case. I know you've commented it with other channels, but what's your understanding of Lawrence's contractual situation?
I think everyone agrees. Everyone agrees on their side now. He's definitely out of contract.
Out of the Matchroom side, that is?
Yeah, I mean, we've been warranted by lawyers and guarantees and everything. So I think Matchroom have even confirmed that. So I think I've spoken on it before. I don't really want to keep going over old ground. Yeah, I think everyone's seen my interviews. I don't want to really talk the same thing about it again, but I'm just glad a purse bid was called in the end, because we don't want to see fighters inactive, especially world champions. There's not many British world champions right now, and Lawrence Okolie is top of that tree.
So will you guys be bidding for that fight?
Yes, we will. Confident
you'll have a highest bid?
I don't know. I don't know the appetite of it elsewhere. I'm just glad that he's going to fight, and so British boxing, I'm sure, is glad as well.
Sticking with that division, Richard Riakporhe behind you, as we touched on earlier. Rumours and reports of a potential Głowacki fight next year. Is that the case?
No comment. No comment. We'll announce next week, but it will be a big fight, definitely.
How would you assess your 2022, Ben?
Incredible.
Anything you can leave on for 2023 to look forward to?
Look, Billam-Smith, Taylor-Catterall already coming. It's going to be an unbelievable year. Very grateful for the team and what we've achieved in the first year. It's been intense. It's been crazy. It's been learnings. It's been successes ever since we started in Cardiff with Eubank Williams and Carnbrook, and then Taylor-Catterall, the first British undisputed fight in this country. To land in this country, and then it just kicked off from there in the signings. Everything, it's been a whirlwind, if I'm honest. Very grateful to be in the position that we are, and I'm really looking forward to next year.
Final one, Ben. Just your thoughts on Conor Benn's most recent statement suggesting that he's been able to clear his name, just waiting for the news to come out from his team.
Yeah, again, nothing to do with me. All I would say is doping is one of the worst things in this sport, and there should be extremely strict deterrents to make sure people don't think about it or even think that they can get away with it.
Right, Ben, I think that's our cue to stop there. I know you're a busy man. I appreciate your time. Enjoy the festive period, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you.
Cheers, Andy. Appreciate it.